Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes I used in the month of August. If you're new to this series, some of these shadows are newer to my collection, some of them are older, so I'm basically stacking up, is the new stuff coming into my collection and being released as good as the old stuff in my collection, or are we just all wasting money and we could be using old stuff that is still really nice and hold up? This month I used 8 different eyeshadow palettes and I'm going to start with the worst and go all the way to the best and kind of give you my reasoning for why, but of course everything's subjective and just my personal opinion. Before we get too far into the video, if you have not already, I would love it if you consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It is totally free to subscribe, and I would love to have you back again on the channel to chat all things makeup in the comments. Number 8, this one hurts me a little, and none of these are bad palettes this month. I will say I like them all. There are no duds that I'm like, ew, get this out of here, but something had to be last. This is the Kaleidos Lunar Lavender palette. I don't think they make this anymore, otherwise known as the Futurism 6 palette. And I don't think they make any of these little foldable like travel size ones anymore. And I love purple eyeshadow. If you're new to my channel, purple and green are my 2 favorite eyeshadow colors. But this one was just kind of like a one-trick pony when I used it this month. I was like, okay, I like the look, but I feel like there's pretty much only one way to go with it. The mattes are pretty lightly pigmented too, so you have to like build and build, I feel like, to get some pigment. The shimmers are where it really shines, but there's only 2 shimmers out of this whole palette and 4 mattes. And when the mattes are kind of like, the 2 shimmers doesn't really like save the rest of it for me necessarily. So it's not bad again, but I don't think this one holds up to some of the other indie brands that I now have in my collection. Number 7 from Ace Beauté, the Palladio palette. I did a collab with Dubs Beauty on her channel with this palette. I will leave it linked if I can in the cards here. We had such a fun time. We played the game that comes with this and it basically chooses your shades at random. We had crazy looks but a crazy good time, so check that out. And I just, outside of playing the game, which is fun, don't reach for this color story that much is what it boils down to. To me, it's kind of like a spin-off of a rainbow palette, and I don't reach for rainbow palettes that much. That being said, I really like the shimmer formula of this and Ace Beauté's like updated shimmer formula, so it's not anything really against the brand or the palette, of course, but it's just this particular color story that I don't think I'm super vibing with. You might be like, okay, if you didn't love that color story, like, why'd you get it? I actually won this in a giveaway from Ace Beauté, so that's why I have it. And I was interested in the regard of like the concept and playing the game and things like that. So yeah, again, not bad. Would absolutely use it, but it's just not something I'm going to reach for first. And number 6, this one was a shock to me. This is from Adept Cosmetics, and I usually never rank Adept Cosmetics stuff this low. This is the Element 115 palette. When I use this one, I also just feel like there's very limited looks I can get with it. You can either go like tealy or purpley. Yes, there's like a pink and kind of like a gold in here, but I still feel like overall a lot of my looks end up looking the same. And to me, I'm like, okay, if I want that look, that's great, but I'm not finding a lot of versatility in this one. This also has a lot of their like smoother shimmer formula, and I like their more like textured formula that they have. So I don't hate the shimmers. They're very sparkly by any means. But this is definitely not my favorite Adept palette I've ever had. And number 5 is the eyeshadow palette that I'm actually wearing today. This is the Laura Lee Los Angeles Whimsical Nudes. I'm also doing a giveaway of this palette right now. Not this particular one, the same palette, but a brand new version of it. And I'll link the video where you can find details about my giveaway. But here is the eyeshadow palette. I'm wearing Manny, Sandshell, Cedar Rose, Aaron, and Moonless. Yeah, it's a really nice everyday palette in my opinion. That's why it's rated higher, because I do find myself like reaching for this one more. But it's also just kind of like a basic palette. So it's not like super inspiring to my creative flow. So that's why I didn't rank it any higher. All right, top 4, and number 4 from Jaclyn Cosmetics is the Strawberry Feels palette. You obviously can't get this one anymore since the brand doesn't exist unless you're buying it from like Poshmark or somewhere like used Mercari. But I do really like the packaging, the fact that this is raised up, and I really like the color story of this. And every once in a while, not very often mind you, but every once in a while I want to do an all matte look, and this is perfect for that. It's only got 2 shimmers and the mattes are exquisite in this. There's some of the like creamiest mattes I would say that I have in my collection, to be honest. I really enjoy the matte formula. The shimmer formula is very meh. So in this case, unlike the Kaleidos, it's like the opposite. I'm glad it only has 2 shimmers because the mattes are where it shines and it's majority mattes. Now I didn't rank this any higher because it is quite monochromatic. Obviously it's like all in the same like pinky, reddy, browny color story. The matte white is very pigmented and good too. So I didn't rank it any higher because again, I feel like there is some lack of versatility there. And for me, like an amazing palette, you can go a lot of different ways with it. But I really like this one. And number 3 from BH Cosmetics, an oldie but a goodie, the Blueberry Muffin palette. This one stands the test of time, you guys. It's wonderful. I use this palette in a palette bingo with Dubs Beauty on my channel, so I'll leave that linked. Here is the palette, and yeah, this one just is still wonderful. The shimmers, the mattes, everything, the color story, and you can somewhat go different directions because you can go more like silvery with the matte and the shimmer. You can go more like berry. There's like a deep burgundy. You can obviously go blue with this one, or you can do more of like a neutral, like with the brown and this gold. So there are some options. I will say of all the colors in the world, blue's not my first go-to color. Like I said, green and purple I'd say are like my favorite eyeshadow colors to wear. I do love cool tones though. So this is just not like the perfect color story for things I tried this particular month, but it's number 3. It's high up there, you guys. And number 2 is something I didn't expect. It is the Blend Bunny Dollhouse. I've been reaching for this a lot this month, a lot, and I knew it was good. I've had it, it's been out a while, but I don't know, I've just particularly this second row been loving these kind of like muted dainty mattes in the crease particularly, and this row to like deepen up a little, and then a shimmer. The shimmers are really nice in this, and what I like about this is even though it's a neutral palette, it's not like Whimsical nudes where you're limited. Like there's so much. You can literally go orange, you can go purple, you can go blue, you can go green, there is pink. Like there's a lot of colors, like muted dainty colors, but colors in this one, and I feel like this is the absolute palette for very mindful, very demure. In fact, I was thinking, let me know if you're interested in this. I was thinking of doing a palette that is of like my recommendations for very demure, very cutesy palettes, and what would those look like? Because they're not all just like neutrals. Like this is obviously like a twist, but when I think like demure, it's also not just neutrals or neutrals with a twist. It's this very like muted color situation to me personally. So let me know if you would like to see that, because I feel like I have some good ideas in mind. But this one, it's the matte and the shimmer formula for me, and the versatility. It's great. That's why it's number 2. Number 1, just like conceptually along with the formula and the colors, blew me away a bit more, just a bit more. So in number 1, it's from Fantasy Cosmetica, and it's the Warlock palette. Dolls freak me out. That's one of my fears. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. So luckily there's no dolls on the dollhouse, but Warlock, in contrast, has this beautiful stained glass art on it. I love D&D. The stained glass continues on the inside. You've got all these little, I don't know if they're like, I think they're octopus tentacles up here, the purple things. And here's the color story. How cool is that? Obviously much more curated, but you can go green, you can go burgundy, you can go purple. This like offering one, it's different colors depending on what you pair it with. Like sometimes it looks more gray and smoky, sometimes it looks more blue, sometimes it looks more purple. So it really just depends what you want to do. And I also enjoy the fact that there is more of like a swampy yellowy green, and then there's also more of like a bright, not quite neon, but a brighter, like the undertones are different in the greens. So this one just, yeah, again, not only does it have the versatility, the formulas, and the color story, but it's got the concept too. And to me, that's the whole package. That's the whole package. That's all I want. I say that's all I want as I list off like 5 different things. But yeah, I love this one. It's #1 for me this month. Let me know what you guys use this month, or if you own any of these palettes. Maybe you love them, maybe you hate them. I would love to know. Thanks so much if you watched all the way to the end of the video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!